Well, the United States and China kick off the latest round of their trade talks as the economic superpowers edge towards a deal to resolve the months-long spat that has rattled the global economy. In a high-level two-day meeting between U.S. trade representatives Robert Lighthizer and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin with China's top economic official Liu He, the two sides are expected to make substantial progress. CNBC's Eunice Yoon joins us from the Chinese capital with more. Eunice, is China on its way to get access of more important stuff?
Definitely is going to be helping the mood because obviously the Chinese are buying more soybeans as well as other products, and so then that would help at least the mood within among some of the negotiators. But from what my sources have been telling me, at least the agenda item list has narrowed somewhat, but there's still quite a bit of work to do for Mnuchin and Lighthizer. They still have to nail down the language in this text. And there have been references made to state subsidies, for example, in the agreement, but the two sides are still very much at odds as to how to handle the state subsidies. Finally, it's still unclear exactly how this deal is going to be enforceable and under what circumstances the tariffs would be lifted. So there's a lot of work left to do, but both sides are incentivized to get a deal. President Trump has indicated that he hopes to get this U.S.-China trade deal off of his list of things to do. And then, of course, the Chinese are grappling with a slowing economy. We're going to be hearing more from the Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, who's likely to address some of those economic issues later today. Investors are likely going to be looking for clues on that. And then in the afternoon, the Commerce Ministry is going to be holding its regular press conference. But as you had mentioned, I think the fact that the trade deficit has narrowed, this is politically sensitive, is going to be a positive thing that the Chinese can point to, because they can say that, yes, we are buying more things, especially soybeans, as we had promised. And the indications are from the data that the Chinese are going to continue to purchase even more soybeans. And then on top of that, there have been a couple of other changes that they've made to the financial within the financial sector that indicate that they're approving a couple more items and opening things up a little bit further. And all of that then is helpful because the talks, if they go well here, as we understand it, would continue in Washington, and that the Chinese vice premier would hopefully make an attempt at finalizing a trade deal with the Americans.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Eunice. On to another story then. CNBC's Martin Tsung caught up with former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and began by asking him about the trade talks and whether he sees an end to the tensions in the near term. Listen in.
It's normal to see between and among trading partners to have those kind of frictions or so-called war. But when it comes to number one and number two largest economies in the world, the United States and China, we are very much concerned that not only it has the domestic implications, it has much greater global implications affecting regions and the world. Therefore, I sincerely hope that this trade war or frictions, whatever it may be called, would be resolved as soon as possible, smoothly. When it comes to such a great volume amounting to $600 billion, then I know that there may be certain problems. In that regard, I'd like to recall what President Xi Jinping told to the world last year during the opening session of Boao Forum here in Hainan, that China will abide by all international governance as well as rules and regulations, and particularly respecting the intellectual property right and protect the smooth and free trade as well as business operations of foreign corporations. That was widely and favorably received by international community. Now, going back to this trading war between U.S. and China, I hope that this will be resolved within some weeks, not going over months. This is good for China and the United States and good for the world.
Okay. Is it pretty clear to you, as it is to many economists, that the tariffs so far have contributed to the slowing global growth that we're seeing?
Of course, when there is such kind of the war, then it may have effect to slowing down the regional and global. And the Chinese trading volume is so huge with America and Korea, Japan, and European Union. Therefore, I sincerely hope that China will also try to learn all the lessons which they hear from international community. And I believe that through these Boao forums, we are going to discuss more deeply, more seriously on the aspect and all different dimensions of trade war between the two countries. And this is my sincere hope that they will come out with reasonably mutually acceptable solutions as soon as possible.
Let's take a quick break, but up next, former SBI Chairman A.K. Parwar set to pilot Jet Airways. Details on the other side.